I was planning on releasing the Dying Light 2 review first, but decided to instead address an important issue with Apex Legends. In essence, Apex has always been unnecessarily political and woke, but in the past year it's changed from mildly annoying to downright radical levels of wokeness. By the way, the footage you are seeing is a collection of funny bugs and other curiosities I have recorded in the past. So, the newest character, Eclipse, is the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I mean, it was already annoying when Valkyrie was introduced last year and immediately declared to be lesbian, and not just any kind of lesbian, but the kind that tries to be butch and manly to the max. She has animations drinking beer, she uses manly expressions, and will hit on Loba any chance she gets with her voice lines if she happens to be on the same team. So that season, Respawn and EA managed to actually add one new character, but de facto added two gay ones, since both the comics and in-game voice lines clearly depict Loba and Valkyrie in a romantic relationship. So Loba is now gay as well. What I find particularly annoying is that in most games, and of course in Apex, there are either gay characters or characters with unclear sexuality. And let me remind everyone that in a game such as Apex, no character should be gay or straight. We really don't care about these things, since the game barely has any story to begin with anyway. I could understand this when we have a game with a serious narrative, which introduces characters who then have meaningful relationships with others. Then the topic of sexuality can be a sensible thing to include in order to create a stronger bond between the player and the game's world. It makes sense to show us how someone is in love with another person, who then gets abducted or even killed, and now our protagonist, or anyone else for the matter, wants revenge, for example. In some cases, making a character homosexual in a game can also be in service of the story and makes perfect sense. And then we have games like Apex, Overwatch, etc. Here there is barely any story to begin with. The characters die and return to life with each round, so the stakes are super low and nothing is permanent. It's really gameplay first, story last, if at all. Hell, the game could even have no story whatsoever and pretty much nobody would care. The stakes matter so little that we sometimes see radical changes in characters for external reasons. A good example is Jesse McCree from Overwatch, who even got renamed to Cassidy. None of this really matters, it's still the same character. Apparently he had been named after someone at Blizzard who was later fired for allegedly harassing other employees. The thing is, nobody who is playing Overwatch cares about that when playing McCree. Not a single person selected the character because it was named after a real human being. I know this video is supposed to be about Apex Legends, but I consider it important to address the problem with political correctness in games in general from time to time as well. Particularly in such games where it's all about the gameplay. And as I've mentioned before several times, there's effectively no story. Every round is like a reset. Nobody cares about the characters' backgrounds for the most part. I used to main Caustic in Apex Legends, and I can tell you that I am neither a scientist with sociopathic tendencies, nor am I in my 50s. The reason why I played him was because he looks cool and has a skill set which appeals to me. At no point did I ever sit down and wonder if Caustic is supposed to be straight or not. It was never mentioned in any way and I didn't care, nor does anyone else who I've spoken to. Do you know how many straight characters there are in Apex Legends? As I was preparing this video, I sat down and thought about this for the first time. And you know what? Nobody knows, because as far as I can remember, it's never been explicitly mentioned. In essence, any and all characters could be gay. I mean, Loba sure wasn't declared as such until Valkyrie came along, and then she was effectively converted. Not long after that, Seer came out, who was never officially declared to be gay, but I mean, come on, let's be honest now. If anyone is definitely gay in that character roster, it's Seer. We do have Gibraltar, who was almost immediately after the game's release pronounced gay, and now we come to Eclipse, who is a transvestite. If you have not bothered to watch the stories from the Outlands video dedicated to him, you should go and take a look. It's textbook wokeness. There he talks about his transitioning, about him finally being himself, and of course declares himself a woman and part of a group of sisters. I do have to give Respawn and EA credit for one thing. They didn't just create a hot female character and simply say, this chick was once a dude. No, they actually designed the character to look like a man with makeup for the most part. He even has a male voice and everything.
I feel like the whole world has opened up now that I'm myself.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
that companies doing this are harming themselves and their businesses by going woke like that. Think about it. Nobody ever decided to play or not play a game based on lack of representation. I guarantee you that no matter your sexual orientation or any other factors, you will still want to play a game if it's good. I mean, I played Tomb Raider regardless of the fact that Lara Croft is a woman, and I enjoyed it. I have also played Sonic the Hedgehog, although I'm not a hedgehog at all, and also love that game. Nobody cares if they are represented in a game, we only care if the games are good. So then why shove woke political agenda down our throats? Games are where we go to escape reality. You don't want to come home after work and have to deal with this again. And there's a very simple argument to be made from a purely economic standpoint against all of this. If you can simply make a good game without introducing gender politics and woke propaganda in it, and all people play it without issue, why risk annoying some by doing it? It's such a simple and obvious choice. Make a good game, keep your woke politics to yourself, and everyone's okay with it, leading to maximum revenue. Or alternatively, shove woke politics down the throats of people, and sooner or later some, such as myself, will simply delete the game and stop funding your political operation. And while my action may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, when enough people do it, the companies start feeling the pressure. That's what happened to Netflix, by the way. A lot of people, me included, canceled their subscriptions because of such stuff, and they immediately started seeing serious losses. I still haven't renewed it, since the situation over there is not yet where it needs to be, but they have made some progress on the matter by releasing whole groups of woke employees into the market again, as a sign of goodwill. If they fix it, I will be happy to subscribe again one day. And it's the same with EA and Respawn if you think about it. I love Apex Legends, it's a fun game with great gameplay loop, but I simply can't continue to support it by spending money or by simply being one more player who boosts the game's overall stats. If more people do as I did, it will hurt them enough and you will see how things will change. If not, it's okay as well. My choice to delete the game was first and foremost in service of my own principles. So there you have it. They pushed me too far, so I simply left. Obviously, I would strongly advise anyone who feels similarly to delete the game and move on to something better. As more people do it, we will definitely make a dent on EA. As the whole political correctness movement has been getting stronger in the past years, it's ironically also made itself weaker. I know that's a contradictory sounding statement, but think about it. At first it was annoying as all, but people didn't really pay it much attention. But the more prevalent it became, the more people started to voice their displeasure, and now the masses have become so fed up with it that we often see strong allergic reactions early on. Personally, I believe that all of this will die out within the next 10 years and we will see a return to normality. But for that to happen, we have to, again, vote with our wallets. Companies know that this behavior will anger some of the consumers, but are counting on most of us just taking it and moving on. They believe that this is the future, and even if they lose some of their customers now, they will gain more for being woke later on. It's up to us to prove them wrong every step of the way. It's an uphill battle, but I think we can win if we stand strong together. Thank you for listening to my rant. This video is slightly different from my usual stuff, but I felt like it was important enough to make. I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, have a great day. This is Nino signing out.